Right, let's record this thing. Boom. We are now recording. Guys, super, super excited to be here. We stop blushing, he said. Just got out of the sauna and cold plunge circuit and sequence. Had to get my mind right for this call. And I'm excited, to be honest, with the amount of growth and momentum that everybody is experiencing in this organization. Super, super excited for everybody that's on this call and just the timing that we have and the opportunity that we have at our disposal. It's honestly just such a blessing to be in the position that we all are in. And so go ahead in the chat. Let me know where you guys are tapped in from. And I'm just going to pull up my notes. I took some notes for tonight's call. Was having a great conversation with Tommy as we put this call together because we realized, hey, there's a lot of new people that are joining the community. And we want to make sure that everybody has the tools, resources, and knowledge to really do this thing at a high level, right? And for those of you guys that don't know me, before I shout out where y'all are tuned in from in the chat, is it okay if I just share a little bit about myself with you guys? For those of you guys that don't know me, maybe you're seeing me for the first time. Let me get some head nods for those of y'all that have the cameras on. If you don't have your camera on, don't be shy. Okay, I would love to see your beautiful faces. I'm seeing some head nods. We have like guys, there's like 50 people on this call. Unless you're driving or taking a poop, I would love to see your beautiful face. Truly, because then it shows me that you're dialed in, that you're taking notes, that you're attentive, that you're locked in. I wouldn't necessarily want to see you if you're in the washroom. So please don't turn your camera on if you're in the washroom. That would be weird. But if you're in a position where you can, I would love to see your face, right? So pooping right now. No worries, man. Appreciate the honesty. He's dialed from the toilet. We'd love to see it. But jokes aside, for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Donovan Taylor, also known as Donnie. I'm one of the ECA educators with Economy. I'm 25 years old, born and raised in a town called, or I guess it's a city, Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. It's about an hour away from Toronto. So for those of you guys that don't know where Kitchener is, I'm sure you've heard of Toronto. And I got started in the world of day trading, investing, entrepreneurship as a whole in 2018. And unlike a lot of us that are a part of this community getting started with the community, I actually started just fully independent and was in a position where I just saw the opportunity to invest my money and kind of put it to work for me in the markets. And so I took it upon myself to figure this whole thing out. And I'll be super honest, my first 2 years were not sunshine and rainbows. They honestly sucked in terms of financial results. And the one thing that kept me going was the vision, because I saw a lot of people that were in positions that they had results from the markets, from day trading, from investing, from putting their money to work for them. And I just knew I had to do this thing long enough to get to that same level. I just didn't know how, but I saw the vision. And so I applied myself, and then through God's grace and just persistence, ended up being surrounded by the right people and introduced to a community. And that's when things really shifted. I went from losing close to 30,000 my first 2 years. I'm just going to be raw and real with you guys. There's no reason for me to front it. Close to 30,000 my first 2 years to being in a position where I turned that situation around. I turned a crazy debt situation around too. I had about $60,000 of debt that I was able to turn around. And that's not including the $30,000 of losses in the markets, by the way. So it's like 90K if you think about it in the grand scheme. But was able to turn that situation around entirely through this opportunity after getting around the right people and being in proximity with people that have what I want. And this call is really going to be for those of you that are serious about getting to the next level with your trading. For those of you that are serious about really taking your game to a whole nother level. And this is a trading call. This is not a building call. It's not an affiliate call. If you're on here and you're looking forward to affiliate training, we have lots of calls that are affiliate training oriented, but this is a trader's call. All right. This is a trader's call and this is a personal finance call. But I wanted to start by just sharing a quick one too about myself. It's crazy. Before I was educating for the platform of Economy and really co-pioneering this movement with Revolt, with everybody that's a part of it. And this is crazy. I mean, the size of this call now, if we think about where we're going in, let's say 3, 6, 12 months from now, it's just going to be crazy. Probably 10x the amount of people, which is awesome. But before I was leading calls, before I was educating, I was trying to figure this out myself. And then I got in the right rooms, got around the right people, And mentorship really is a shortcut to success. You get to learn not only from people that have what you want, but ultimately you learn from their mistakes so you don't make the same ones. So my goal with this call is to give you guys a bunch of value. Be ready to take notes. If you don't have a notebook, go ahead and get one. Don't take notes on your computer. Don't take notes on your phone. You want a physical notebook that you can, go ahead and write with white paper, blue ink. Okay. If you don't have a blue pen, go get a blue pen. I don't have time to get into the science behind it, but white paper, blue ink, there have been studies that show that you will retain information more through actually writing information down, number one. And number two, white paper, blue ink, there's just something about the white paper and blue ink that retains more. Again, I can't get into all the details, but that's what I would encourage you guys to do. So really quickly, before we dive in, I want to shout you guys out and where you're tuned in from. Currently, I'm in Kamloops, BC. We were just in Kelowna yesterday. I had a fantastic event. I got the opportunity to meet some of you guys in person for the first time, which was really cool. Kendall got to meet you. Where's Jeremy? Jeremy's in here somewhere. It was great to meet Jeremy as well. Who else did I meet that was in Kelowna here? Let's see. There's a few others. Those are just a couple that I see with the cameras on. But we got people tuned in from all over the place today. We got Edmonton. We got Grand Prairie, GP. Shout out Walker one time. We got Minnesota, Nebraska. We got Mr. Tom Hughes coming back from the sauna.
What up, Revolt?
Revolt, let's
What's
go.
good, squad? We got our educator.
We
Take
throwing down.
notes.
We throwing down. We got to throw down.
You're learning from the best, man. Let's go.
I appreciate that. I'm humbled. I'm blushing already before you even said it. And now I'm blushing even more. But we got Kamloops in the house. What's good, Aiden? Looking forward to seeing you soon. While we're out here, we got Huntsville, Ontario. Amazing, Joel. My sister actually lives pretty close to Huntsville. Great area. It's very grounding. Calgary was good, JP. My brother. Looking forward to seeing you on the tour. We got Dylan from Nebraska. We got Alberta. Sylvan Lake. I don't think I've heard of Sylvan Lake. That's awesome though. Love to see it. Simeon. We got Calgary. We got Niagara Falls, Kamloops again, Calgary again. We got, so let's see, Kitchener in the house. Or wait, I think they're just saying Kitchener. I don't think Dave and Caden are actually from Kitchener. Where are you guys at right now, Dave and Caden? You guys are in London? We got Winkler in the house. Let's go. I love how there's like, Miguel's like, I gotta, specify Manitoba because I didn't know what Winkler was. I didn't know what Kamloops was before I came out here as well. Just kind of fun. JV said, "What's good, Unk?" Shout out Unk one time. We got Tilbury. Derek Buston. What's good, man? Good to see you. Wow. Let's see. We got Mississauga in the building, or Saga. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're referencing Mississauga. Love to see it. Let's see. New Brunswick in the house. Amazing. Antarctica. This Merrick guy is funny. I like it. Let's go. We got Lincoln as well. Amazing. Lake County, BC. Perfect. So shout out to you guys for making the decision to be here. Obviously, there were people that, simply just couldn't make this call because they had other commitments or other things going on. That's why we're recording it. But understand that you and making the decision to be on a call like this live is really worth giving yourself recognition for because you could have been doing literally anything else on a Tuesday night. It's 5 p.m. my time PST. It's 8 p.m. for some of you. It's 6 p.m., 7 p.m. for some of you. Maybe it's even, different time zones depending on where you're tuned in from. So just give it to yourself one time for making the decision to be here. And my goal over the next, we might go over time, to be honest. It's probably going to go past the top of the hour if that's okay with you guys. But my goal over the duration of this call is to give you as much value as I possibly can to make sure that number one, you're on the right track. You actually have an idea of what the next logical steps are and you can take action accordingly. Number two, I want to make sure that you guys learn from my mistakes so that you have a completely different trajectory in your first 2 years. Okay. I want you guys to be honest with me in the chat because I want to make sure we're talking to the right people on this call. I'm pretty sure I am because we got a great turnout and I can just tell that the energy of this group is a little bit different. But how many of you are in a position where you're ready to give this skill and this opportunity a minimum 2 years of your time and 2 years of your life? Not 24/7 for 2 years, but 2 years doing this part-time to eventually be in a position where making a full-time income doing this part-time. Okay. Let me know in the chat if you're on that same tip. Because I'll be honest, what took me 2 years to figure out the hard way, we have so many people that are coming in with the right resources and the right tools, and seeing what took me 3.5, 4 years to accomplish in terms of experience, results, financially being in a position where I was able to support myself doing this full time. We have people that are literally on this call right now. I'm going to shout out somebody, Dayton, for example, who's been doing this like a year and a half. And when he first started, didn't have prior experience. He was actually super skeptical about this whole trading thing. I think like a lot of us are initially. And in 3 months of doing this, he just came in, applied himself, super teachable, super coachable. Results not typical, but don't be typical. He was in a position where he made a full month's salary in a single morning trading. And he was like, okay, this is crazy, right? When you have, it's like when you see it, you can't unsee it. Later on down the line, he had days where he was making multiple months of salary in a couple mornings, in a single morning, right? There was a month recently where he did 20 bands in a single month. He literally was in a position where he was able to leave his job. He's been doing this full time now for the past, I think it's about a year. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. And he was literally just in Thailand for 2 months, just kicking it, having a blast. And that's a result of what we have at our disposal. What took me, I've been doing this almost 7 years now, guys. I was not in a position where I was traveling, living that kind of trade, travel, transform lifestyle until, I mean, realistically speaking, it was like 5.5 years to really be able to do it comfortably and not have to worry financially. Because sometimes we go on trips. For example, some of us went to Dubai in here. Drop a one in the chat if you went to Dubai. Phenomenal experience. Highly recommend everybody here to be at an in-person event like that. And of course, we have these city events in Canada, which are great. But there's just something different about leaving your country to go to an event. Unreal experience. But I'll be honest, I remember my first event, I went on my last dime. I went to Dallas, Texas in 2019 on my last. And I was going to event from event to event to event to event on my last for a long time, just trying to figure out a way to make it there. And some of us, maybe can relate to the Dubai trip. Dubai was not cheap getting there, right? But people made the decision. And I mean, for those of y'all that went to Dubai in the chat, would you say it was worth it? Even though you might have went on your last, maybe you set yourself back a little bit temporarily financially. Was it worth the experience? You guys let me know in the chat. And I know a lot of people had FOMO. Don't worry, we're going on more of it. We're going to go on more trips, more major events together, other cities, right? We got Miami coming up. Going to be announcing that pretty soon. And lots of other opportunities. So don't feel like, you missed the only event. We do this stuff frequently. But all that to say, my goal is to really just make the next period of time, however long we're on here, the most valuable that I can be, the most value that I can, and give you guys the blueprint. Have those next logical steps in line, and ultimately make sure that you're in a position where you can avoid some of the pretty simple to avoid mistakes that I made when I first started. But if you don't know how to, I guess you could say, dodge them, or you don't know what you don't know, ultimately, then you might make the same mistake. So my goal is to make sure that you don't have to go through the same trials and tribulations, and you guys really just have the blueprint to succeed at a high level. So if you guys are with me, type a 2 in the chat. I think I'm out of water already. I drank the water on the way up here. So we're gonna go no water for this call. So we're gonna be dialed in. We're gonna be dialed in. But okay, cool. First things first. Okay, because I know we have a lot of newer people on here. I want to pull something up, and we're not going to spend too much time on this, but I want to just bring this to your guys' attention because some people don't know about it, or maybe you haven't explored everything that I'm about to pull up and show, which is totally cool. But I'm going to pull this up. So for those of you that have been through the fast start, which should be pretty much everybody on this call from the Revolt website, excuse me, we have more than just the fast start on here. Okay. So first things first, right? Fast start, obviously that's the first step, getting everything set up for those of you guys that are new. But in addition to that, we have a whole launch pad that you guys have access to. And if you don't have the password to this, it's the same as the fast start. And you can obviously reach out to the person that you work closest with for that information. But in the launch pad, guys, there is like a whole blueprint of opportunities for you to basically tap in with in different niches. So of course, fast start, we're not going to talk about today because this is a little bit more advanced. We have a whole continued education tab. I'm going to go into this in a little bit more detail. Icon Bootcamp, that's for affiliates. We have high ticket sales, which by the way, the first high ticket sales retreat is right around the corner. There's a whole group of us that I won't actually be attending personally, but because I have some other commitments. but a whole group of Revolt is literally going to West Palm Beach and capitalizing on a high ticket sales opportunity inside the community, which is phenomenal. I mean, what better way to increase your income than going to sell solar in West Palm Beach for, I think it's 10 days. I could be wrong. I think it's about 10 days to 2 weeks, one of the two. And really great opportunity to just increase your income from that little duration of time. And hey, that's a transferable skill. Sales is a transferable skill that you can apply to a lot of different areas, especially the affiliate side. But we have a lot more than just trading and investing. Just wanted to throw that out there. And this is just the beginning. Like the goal and the vision with Revolt is, I don't even know what I'm allowed to share, but there's a lot to look forward to. Okay. Lots to look forward to. Resources. All right. If ever, I'll pull this up really quickly. If ever you need the presentation for sharing the opportunity, we got it there. The Revolt logos. Okay. If ever you're making a welcome flyer, you want to put some sort of Revolt branding somewhere, we have a ton of different logo files you can check out here as well. And then how to make a welcome flyer for the newest person, how to contact economy support. Guys, we are not support. Sure, I'm an educator for the platform, but if you need something, economy support is there. I know sometimes the system can be a little bit hard to navigate, but at least go through the motions first and then reach out if you need some extra support. Okay. So that's the resources tab. And then, of course, we have the vault. Now, the vault, for those guys that don't know, you haven't checked this out, there's a whole bunch of really high level training in here. Yes, a lot of this is for the affiliate side of the business, but there's also uh, and I could be wrong on this as well, but I'm pretty confident that we're going to be putting up even more material here that is going to be mindset related, that is going to be success principle related, that you can go ahead and you can apply to trading or anything else that you have currently going on in your life. All right. So that's just a few of the sections that I wanted to touch on. Now, continued education is what I want to spend the most amount of time on because this is trading related. This is a trading call. All right. First things first. This is where you should be going after finishing the fast start. So if you've been through the fast start, if you're a new customer on here, you're a new member of the community, first of all, welcome. Super excited to have you here. And trust me, right place, right time, right people. We're really just getting started with this thing. But this is the next logical step after going through the fast start. So you have crypto, for those of you that are capitalizing on crypto, or for those of you that want to capitalize on crypto, it doesn't matter what package you're on, you can go through this crypto section and really dial in crypto to a whole nother level. So you have leverage trading, which is like MT4, MT5, sway markets, sway charts, right? And you have portfolio building. I built out a whole portfolio building boot camp specifically for this bull market that we're experiencing right now. Okay, a lot of people don't even know this is here. Like there's literally, and I have this is a different password. The password for this is portfolio, all lowercase. But this is, again, team exclusive, so obviously keep this in-house. But this is a whole portfolio building boot camp on how to go about positioning in crypto in the best possible way to ride the wave that we're currently seeing. Bitcoin just came less than $500 from 100,000. We have something like XRP that just pumped from around 50 cents to $1.60 in a matter of 3 weeks. I mean, there's so many opportunities to capitalize in crypto. You're kind of playing yourself if you're not at least a little bit exposed. Hey, if you're in a position where it's like, I want to focus on Forex, I'm not really much into crypto, that's fine. But I would challenge you to step out of your comfort zone and at least just put, maybe it's like, I don't know, $25 a month into crypto. You might be like, okay, well, what's the point of doing that? Well, I mean, hey, if you're doing $25 a month, which is, I mean, I think everybody here could feasibly do that. And if you can, it's all good. Right. But think about that. Doing the right things long enough consistently is what creates results. Sure, it might not seem like much, but it's better than not doing anything. Okay. So this whole boot camp is about 30 minutes of material. It's really short and sweet. And every single one of these episodes I recorded actually quite some time ago. And they've been on here for a long time. A lot of people don't know about them. But it's literally the A to Z blueprint of how to build a portfolio, how to do research into certain cryptos, how to do this passively while actively dialing in day trading. Okay, this is an important thing because it's very easy with everything on the platform to kind of get pulled in all kinds of different directions and kind of have shiny object syndrome, so to speak, because there's so many phenomenal educators, so many phenomenal products, so much phenomenal education. It's easy to be pulled in different directions and it's important to isolate your attention onto one thing at a time. So the thing I love most about the portfolio side of crypto is that you can do this very, very passively, right? It's literally you go through 30 minutes of material, you figure out, okay, what do I want a dollar cost average into, which is talked about in the videos, right? Scaling in, progressively creating a portfolio over time. What do I want to scale into? And then it's literally just setting a dollar amount or a percentage of your income, your paycheck, whatever. And then every 2 weeks, you're going ahead, you're pulling up your crypto app and you're buying XYZ cryptos. I mean, it's really not that time consuming. It might take you about an hour, hour and a half to figure out, okay, this is the plan that I want to go with. And then it's just a matter of every 2 weeks or every month executing on the plan. It's so passive, it's just a no-brainer. Okay. So building boot camps here. For setting up the portfolio building app, you have obviously if you're from Canada or anywhere else, the apps are there respectively. And then there's next steps as well. So, trading view setup tutorial, this is in a lot of different places. Portfolio building next steps. If you're on DeFiverse, these are the people you want to be tapping in with to really take your crypto education and understanding to another level. But this is like going beyond just the basic building of a portfolio. And some of you guys aren't on DeFiverse. Some of you don't have the desire to take it any further. Totally cool. At the very least, do yourself the favor of watching these 3 episodes. All right. So there's that. Okay, leverage trading. Again, if you're on DeFiverse, this is a good place to go through. I'm not going to dive into it in too much detail, but just wanted to share that that's there because a lot of people don't even know that's there. All right. In addition to that, if you're on the Forex side of things, okay, you have the Monara next steps. So in here, it's literally everything that you need to know to really dial in at a high level your understanding of the Monara scanner and the strategy that Idris and Ralph trade in accordance with. So it gives you the educators to follow on the platform, both on Solex and the live sessions to attend on ECA. And it literally gives you the begin with your basic education. So how to navigate the ECA is in here. Step 2, how to actually use the scanner, how to set it up, in-depth Monara training, using the Monara FX bot and how to set that up. So you get notifications every time there's an opportunity. Okay. So on and so forth. So really good stuff. Trading plan. I'm actually going to update this video, but it's good for now. And so there's that. All right. So this is for those of you guys that are new, drop a new in the chat if you've enrolled with Economy and Revolt in the past 2 months. Drop a 2 in the chat if that's you, or a new in the chat if that's you. Okay, over the past 2 months, look how many people we have that are new. This is fantastic. This is what we call momentum season for real. So, so this is, if you haven't already gone through this, this is the next logical step. All right, like I said, the password, aside from the crypto portfolio building bootcamp, that password is portfolio. Okay, I'll type it in the chat. All right, portfolio. That's the password, and it's not a capital P, by the way, just auto capitalized. So it's lowercase, all lowercase. Portfolio for the portfolio building bootcamp. Okay. Monara, I don't even think has a password, but if it does ask you for a password to get to this tab under the Launchpad or the education tab is another way to streamline the process to get here. Like if I go to education, it'll bring me to this page. It's the same as the fast start password. So everybody should have the fast start password at this stage in the game. Now, I know it's kind of funny because we have so much going on. And this is something that's going to take me like 2 seconds to finish setting up. And now that we're doing this call and I'm talking about it, I'm going to have this done by probably end of day today, if not tomorrow. This section right here is for those of you that are wanting to really dial in institutional trading. So we have, and I'm going to show you guys what's going to be in here right now. Okay. So you guys can still capitalize and take advantage of everything that you need to know institutional trading wise to trade like the institutions, like the banks. This is the side of things that I educate on the ECA. I'm going to show you exactly what the step-by-step process is going to be to start going through this material. And basically what's going to be in this tab, I'm going to go over with you guys live right now. And eventually this tab will be finished probably by tomorrow at the very latest, where it's going to be streamlined, very similar to the Monara tab. Okay, where it has the educators to follow, begin with a basics education. All right, and then it's going to be like go through the institutional training bootcamp, which is on DCA. From there, perfect. Watch some of the advanced lessons, which are much more thorough and in depth on the understanding of institutional trading. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys that in a second. We also have indices live trading. So for those of you that are on Plutos, type Plutos in the chat if you've been tapping in with Plutos. Honestly, Plutos is one of the best add-ons on the platform. One of the best in terms of signal services, trade ideas. There is so much value that is being shared with Plutos all the time. All the time. I mean, it's like every every day in the morning, in the afternoon. I'm like, man, these guys are just ripping out here with trade ideas, and they're consistent. And not only is it trade ideas on Solex, Nigel actually trades live every single morning. Actually, I could be mistaken. Maybe not every single morning, but most mornings, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, the same time that Abdallah trades, Nigel is also trading. So you can be back and forth between their sessions on the ECA, trading with them live in real time, right? Actually, didn't see any Putos ideas today. There were some ideas. You might have to just unsubscribe and resubscribe. Sometimes the notifications will, glitch. It's still in beta mode for Solex, so just unsubscribe, resubscribe. But there were notifications and a lot of opportunities that were shared, and or at least trades that were updated. I saw a number of notifications for today. So, so yeah, this is the tab for Plutos and indices. So for those of you guys that are building the business and that are leaders, this is super important to like send and direct people to after going through the fast start. So I wanted to take some time to just touch on this. We're going to come back to the smart money and institutional trading side of things in a little bit. I just want to make sure that we're keeping on track and going through everything that I need to, but I will go into that in more detail. Okay. If you guys are wanting to tap in with my sessions and really, dial in trading on the institutional trading side of things, I know a lot of us already are, but we'll go into that in a little bit more detail momentarily. The thing that I wanted to go over as well is Solex. So I made a newer video recently. This is now in the fast start, but just in the event that you hadn't seen this because it wasn't here, when you went through the fast start or whatever. This video shows you exactly with specificity how to set up Solex, what educators you're going to want to follow, what people are going to make the most sense for you to follow when you're first starting out. So what I'm going to do is just share. Let me see if I can copy the link to this here.
What's
Let's see.
what's going on?
Copy link. I'm just going to drop this in the chat. I don't want to literally watch through it with you guys right now, but just maybe pull this up. Somebody wants to drop that in the family chat. That'd be great. If you don't mind, that would be fantastic. Thank you in advance to whoever does. But this is literally, if you haven't already set it up or you don't know which educators to follow, be sure to watch through this video. Okay. So that's that. Okay. Super important. All right. Super important. I got off a call. I've actually had a few calls recently. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. I've had a few calls recently where I've been on, on Zooms, FaceTimes, whatever, with some students, and I'll ask people, what is your live session schedule? And some of them are like, what do you mean? Live session schedule? Like, what are you referring to? Um, and it's crazy to me because, and this is with all due respect, because it's not even their fault. They just don't know what they don't know. And it's up to us to relay this information and make sure there's not like a break in the telephone line. You guys know the telephone game where it's like, I call up Kendall. I'm like, hey, Kendall, ABC MXB 123, right? Some random is just an example. Okay. Kendall then calls up Joel and he's like, ABC 123 MXB. There's like a break in the line. And then Joel calls Bryson, right? And Bryson calls Walker. And then at some point there's like a missing piece, right? And sometimes this happens. So it's really important that we're on the same wavelength for everybody in the community. And it's okay if maybe you're seeing some of this stuff for the first time today, it's totally cool. It's up to me, up to us as leaders to share this and make sure everybody's on the same page. That's why we put this whole call together. But a live session schedule is like the most important ingredient to becoming an independently profitable trader. I'll be so honest. Trade ideas are fantastic. Trade ideas can pay the bills, but if you want to get to a level of independence in your journey, which I think, You guys let me know in the chat. Type independent in the chat if you want to get to a point of actually taking your own trades. Some of us don't, and that's totally cool. Maybe you just want the blueprint on how to take trade ideas the best way. We're going to talk about that. Okay. But becoming independently profitable is why I started working with a mentor and a community back in 2019. Right. That was the whole point was, man, I want to be able to take these trade ideas and combine it with my own profitable trades. I mean, it's like the best of both worlds. So a live session schedule is absolutely crucial. You have to have in your weekly routine sessions that you're setting aside or time blocking aside in your schedule to watch either live sessions or recorded sessions. Okay, so write this down in your notes. I hope you guys are taking notes. I haven't been like saying, okay, write this down, write that down, but I hope you guys are taking notes of what I'm sharing. Right? For example, portfolio building boot camp password, right, is portfolio. I hope you guys are taking this stuff down. But to create a live session schedule, it's super, super easy. Like super, super easy. You literally just pull up, whatever platform you're on, whether you're on DeFiverse, whether you're on, the elite package, okay, and you pull up the live session schedule, right? For example, if I were to pull this up from the DeFiverse side of things, okay, I'll pull up my screen in a second here, right? This is what it looks like from the DeFiverse portal for the live session schedule. If you're on from the app and you go to live, you'll see the individual educators and the days and times that they stream. Okay. If you're on from your computer, you can actually have it like all in one snapshot, just like what we have here. And by the way, DeFiverse is not just crypto. They also have educators that trade indices and gold too. Christian Vargas, good friend of mine, as well as Yasio, also a good friend of mine. So it's not just crypto. It's mainly crypto though. All right. But the biggest key is taking a look at the current schedule that you have, work schedule, other commitments, sports, significant others, spouse, wife, kids, whatever, and finding a time at least once a week. I mean, this is like, it really should be more than once a week, to be honest. If you guys are serious, you're going to want to do this as often as possible. Okay. And I'll tell you why. The and this is another important thing too. I'll just share this before I go into the point I was about to share. Is long-term consistency. Write this down. Okay, this is a nugget of gold. Long-term consistency will always beat short-term intensity. Long-term consistency will always beat short-term intensity.
Nuggets.
So if you're in a position where you're like, all right, I want to be on every single one of the sessions. Good luck doing that long term consistently. I guarantee you're going to fall off the bandwagon after like 2, 3 weeks because you will not be in a position where you can watch every single session, period. So commit to what you can commit to. One session a week, bare minimum. If you want to go above and beyond, commit to 3 a week. All right. My sessions are a little bit lengthy. Sometimes I'll be on there for like 2 hours, maybe sometimes 2 hours and 15 minutes. Okay. So if you're committing to 3 a week, that's like anywhere from like 3 to 6 hours, depending on which educator you're following. Most educators don't stream for that long. That's just me. I'm passionate about what I teach and what I dial in with. So sometimes I just go on tangents, but it's all value, by the way. It's all value, by the way. So how many of you can commit to at least one every single week? Let me know in the chat. And this is just an example from DeFiverse. You can look at the masterclass calendar on the ECA. I don't have time to log in and pull it up, so I'm just pulling this up for an example. But on the masterclass section on the ECA, you can see the whole session schedule, the educators, what time they're streaming, what days they're streaming. How many of us can commit to at least one live? And if you can't do it live, that's okay. At least one recording every single week. Fantastic. So there's it should be everybody on the call, right? But I'm seeing a fair amount of engagement in the chat, which is good. I'm telling you guys, that is what will completely change your trading. I remember in 2019 when I first got introduced to institutional concepts, which is the way that I trade to this day. I went through a whole process of unlearning and then relearning. And the breakthroughs and the cognitions that I was having was a result of live trading sessions, was a result of live training sessions, training and trading together. And guess what? At that time, I was dialing in for at least 3 to 5 sessions every single week. Now, I understand that not everybody can make that commitment, and you want to set up the rules so that you always win. You don't want to make a commitment that you can't keep because then you're going to be, self-sabotaging yourself for, oh man, I should have been on all 5 webinars this week, and that's why I say minimum one. If you want to go above and beyond, you can aim for 3. Anything more than that, bonus, but don't make it like a goal on a weekly basis to attend like 5, streams, because it might be unrealistic. For some of you, you're like, oh, dude, an hour a day, that's, I could literally take off Saturday, Sunday and tune into one every day. That's no problem. Right. But set up the rules so you always win. It's like if you have a book and you make it a goal, like a New Year's resolution. This is why so many people fail with their New Year's resolutions, right? They'll set it, and we're about to go into the new year. So set your New Year's resolution now. Don't wait for January 1st, first of all. Second of all, with those resolutions or just any sort of goal setting, set up the rules so you always win. Write that down. Set up the rules so that you always win. What does that mean? It means instead of trying to do everything all at once and cram, be super. It's almost like, man, I'm making it a goal to read 1 page of a book a day. Like, dude, why? It doesn't even feel like a goal that's worth setting, right? It's like 1 page a day. Like, dude, I could, and that's no problem. But guess what? It's better to stack an easy win over and over and over again than it is to try and do everything all at once and then burn out and not be able to do it consistently. Again, it goes back to that quote. Doing the right things long enough consistently, okay, is something, another quote, but long-term consistency will always beat short-term intensity. And that's the biggest problem that people have. It's the biggest challenge I've faced in my journey is trying to cram everything in all at once instead of just being realistic and setting up the rules so I always win. 1 live session a week, no problem. Boom. Okay. Hopefully I'm speaking to some of y'all right now. Hopefully this is resonating with some of y'all. But another thing too to commit to is copying and pasting trade ideas as frequently as you possibly can, especially if you're just starting out, no prior trading experience. Even if you have trading experience and you're new to the community, make it a habit of going on Solex, going on DeFiverse, going on, the trading application that you're using and taking the trade ideas that are being shared on a regular basis. Why? Number one, it's going to create a belief. Write this down, write the numbers down that I'm about to share. This is why it's important to use the product and actually take the trade ideas that are being shared. Number one is you start to get in the routine of taking trade ideas. So, for example, if you're new and you're starting out, you don't even necessarily have that confidence to navigate MetaTrader 5, MetaTrader 4, sway charts, whatever the case may be, to a high level of confidence. So the more that you're practicing, guess what? The better you're going to get, the quicker you're going to get. So that's the first point. All right, you're gonna become more accustomed and you'll get better at taking trade ideas. Number two, probably even more importantly, is it's going to create belief in what you're learning. It's going to create belief because the track record's there. If you're taking all the trade ideas or as many as you can throughout the week that are being shared from different educators, different services, you're going to have a crazy belief check. You're going to start to see some of the same results that we see on a regular basis in the Telegram chat. You're going to start to experience those same results yourself. And you're going to be like, damn, even though this is a demo account, once I've seen it, I can't unsee it. I know this is real. I know this is possible now. Maybe you might not be trading with proper risk management at first if you don't know what you're doing, and that's okay. We're going to talk about that in a second because risk management is, really the key to success or failure in this. We're going. Are you guys okay if we go over the hour? I know we got some people that are pulling up to the Coast Hotel. But are you guys okay with that? Because man, we not don't worry, it's not going to be a full-on ECA session where I'm going for 2.5 hours. It's not going to be that long. Okay. It could be. Just know it could be, man. 6.5 years of doing this, I could be on here for 5 hours. I'm just saying. But I don't think that would be good for anybody, right? So I'm gonna need some food at some point, right? But bathroom breaks, So the third reason why it's so important to take trade ideas, okay, is creating more or less routine for yourself. If you're not taking trade ideas, okay, number one, you're not going to be familiar with taking trade ideas. Number two, you're not going to have a belief check and seeing, okay, cool, damn, like this is consistently working. Copy trading is the real deal. It's going to inspire you more to become an independent trader as well. Because now you're like, okay, dang, like if this is a trade idea that's, winning and I'm stringing together some wins, whatever, you're going to be like, dude, I got to learn this skill myself. If I can learn how to do this myself independently, plus the trade ideas, dude, I could do this thing full time if I wanted to. Right. But three, it's going to create routine for yourself. It's now you're not going to pick up your phone to go on Snapchat. Okay. I'm not going to get into it today. Don't worry. For those of y'all that are in Kelowna, you guys are laughing right now. You can see some of your faces. You're like, dude, no, we can't go in this Snapchat rabbit hole again. Some of you guys don't have the context. We're not going to get into it. But instead of like you picking up your phone and going on Instagram or YouTube to scroll endlessly, mindlessly, you're going to pick up your phone and go on Solex. You're going to pick up your phone and go on TradingView. You're going to pick up your phone and go on MetaTrader on Sway charts. And that's going to be the routine that you want to create for yourself. Now, you don't want to live on the charts, right? But you want to be in the routine of embodying what it means to be a trader, embodying what it means to be someone who, ultimately can just, this is a big Sonic guy. Who you're embodying the lifestyle, right? You're embodying the lifestyle. This guy, it's crazy. We need the comic effect. Okay, so those are the three most important points to to take into consideration with trade ideas. All right. So, okay, what do we talk about? I'm just gonna. Can you guys hear me?
Turn off Bluetooth on the laptop.
Yeah, let me turn off Bluetooth. There we go. Boom. Okay, sweet. Thank you guys. So live session schedule. Commit to one a week. I would say, follow multiple educators as well if you can for live session schedules. It's good to kind of create your own swag, learning from other educators on the platform and not just one. But yeah, and there's so many great educators out there, but you want to do your best to focus on like one strategy or one style of trading. That way you're not confusing yourself. Okay, you're trying to do everything all at once. It's guess what? The jack of all trades is a master of none. So and that's actually the next point. Okay. And we're going to expand a little bit more into this. Mastering one strategy or style of trading is so immensely important because, like I said, and I've alluded to it a couple of times on the call, including right now, realizing that it's my next point. It's so easy to get lost in the sauce. It is. Like, there's a lot. You got the Revolt website, you got the economy platform, you got DeFiverse, you got the events, you got the group chats. And it can be a bit overwhelming sometimes. Like, I'll be honest, it's overwhelming for me. I'm in like, you think you're in a lot of chats? Oh my gosh, I'm in 5 times the amount of chats, different sub teams, other, chats, this, that, whatever. And it sometimes can be overwhelming. But what I would share is this: follow one course until successful. That's what the word focus stands for. Write that down. I'll actually write it on a whiteboard. Actually, I don't like the whiteboard. The updated whiteboard is kind of whack. Let me do this. Big whiteboard guy, right? Follow one course until successful. Okay. I know I probably already said it enough, but follow one course until successful. All right. And just a little nugget. Focus on one style, focus on one strategy. And if you're like over time, like, okay, I'm not resonating with this anymore, or, you feel like you're not seeing the results that you want, go back to the drawing board. Here's a harsh reality. Okay. Is it okay if I'm real with you guys in the chat? I'm not going to step on any, I might step on some toes. Um, not as much as, I could, right? But, I'm just going to be real with you guys. Like, it's not the strategy, it's you. So if you're in a position where you're not feeling like you have the results you want, it's not the strategy, it's you. So think about that. Really think about that. For me, especially starting out, I was bouncing all over the place for strategies. I was like, man, I got to find the golden strategy. Let me find the golden strategy, right? Let me find it. I know it's out there, right? And what I came to realize is that you should have been recording that one, eh?
Dude, I didn't. I heard my AirPods.
The Pointer Brothers reference. Maybe some of you guys know. Let me. All right. You think there's like this golden strategy. There really isn't. All the strategies work. They're all profitable, man. It's you. You're the common denominator. It's your plan. It's your risk management strategy that is the common denominator of whether or not you've found and established a profitable method. And if not, go back to the drawing board. Like understand that Monara has created extreme, I won't say extreme, highly profitable traders, people that trade full time. Ralph's on like a crazy win streak right now. I don't know if you guys have been following Ralph. Ralph's literally crushing it. I think he took like 2 losses this whole month. Every week of November has been like 200, 300, 400 pips every single week. He posted a story about this. I don't know if you guys saw that. He's crushing it. But guess what? His results aren't the same as everybody's. Why? Because it's not the strategy, it's the trader that is the common denominator, the key to success. So you have to have a rigid and sound plan. So let's talk about this. What does it look like to create a sound plan? And we're going to start with probably the starting point of all achievement in trading, which is risk management. Okay, I'm going to do my best to rip through this relatively quickly. Okay, following course until successful. We went over that, so we're going to delete that. And let's see if I have this saved. I don't think I do. Okay, that's fine. We'll rewrite it. So hold on a second. I'm pretty sure I do have this saved somewhere. Okay, I can't find it, so it's all good. We'll just rewrite it. I was hoping I had like a cheat sheet I could pull up. So there's really two different ways to go about it with risk management. Two approaches to risk management. Okay. Two approaches to risk management. Now, I will say that there is a more effective approach for copying and pasting than there is for taking your own trades independently. But if you can focus on finding some sort of a system for yourself, because what works for me might not work for you, just being honest. But I will say that, I've seen results and we've duplicated it across the organization very successfully, very efficiently. I would say that there is, a more efficient way to go about it, whether you're taking copy paste ideas or your own trades independently. So write everything I'm about to share down. Don't take pictures. Make sure you're using a pen and paper, like I've already mentioned. So first things first, copy paste trading. So the rule of thumb is this. Okay, 0.01 per $100 for currencies. What does that mean? Let's start by what it doesn't mean. Doesn't mean gold. It doesn't mean Bitcoin. It doesn't mean NASDAQ. It doesn't mean US 30. It doesn't mean oil. It doesn't mean all these other things. We're talking strictly currencies. So euro against the US dollar, British pound against the US dollar, GBP, JPY. Okay, as long as it's one currency against another currency, this is the rule of thumb for copy and paste trading. Now, if you wanted to, and this the reason that I say this, and even still, it's like there's technically an even more efficient way to go about it, and it's more on the for side number 2 with independent trading. But for starting out, because I know we have a lot of newer people on here, this is the rule of thumb that I want you guys to follow for at least your first month to month and a half. Okay, before you kind of get more advanced, and we're going to get into the more advanced in a second here when I go into number 2 for the second approach. All right, so that's for currencies. Now, You might be thinking to yourself, well, Don, what about gold? What about US 30? What about Bitcoin? Okay. And to be honest with you, and this is USD, by the way. I know some of y'all trade on Canadian dollar accounts. Um, I'd say for currencies, you can still use the same rule of thumb. But if you're using a Canadian dollar currency for your trading account, what I'm about to share for Bitcoin, gold, and the indices like US 30 and stuff like that, it's going to look slightly different. So I'm going to go over that difference in a second. But 0.01 per 500 USD on everything else. Okay. And what this is going to look like for my Canadians, because I know we have some people that, are trading on Canadian dollar accounts. It's 0.01 per 750 CAD on everything else. So what do I mean by that? Well, if it's not a currency pair, it's everything else. If you have USD, CAD, that's a currency pair. If you have CAD, JPY, it's a currency pair. If you have, I don't know, USD, ZAR, okay, that actually, believe it or not, is a currency pair. And if you're just curious of what that is, like USD, ZAR, if you type it in, you'll see what it is. US dollar against South African rand. Okay, it's a currency. If I type in XAU USD, it's gold against the US dollar. So you can tell it's not a currency pair, it's gold. So the approach, this is how it should be for copy paste trading to use proper risk management. And the reason that we tend to encourage this for starting out is because it's quick, it's simple, you can do the mental math, and it's seamless to a certain extent. Okay. You don't have to spend extra time trying to calculate your exact risk. But I will say this as well. If you're wanting to copy and paste at a more consistent rate and be at a, I guess you could say, if you want to progress faster, I would encourage you actually to do approach number 2 with copy and paste trading as well. But approach number 2 is this for independent trading. Rule of thumb is to calculate your lot size before every trade to risk a static dollar or percentage amount. I'm going to expand into this. Okay, I'll give you guys a second to write that down. For independent trading specifically, and if you want to take it a step further with copy paste trading, but don't even worry about it. If you're new, just stick with this rule of thumb for your first month, month and a half, 2 months, whatever. And then as you're independently trading and getting into this routine, you can start to very quickly and easily apply with your own demo independent trading this same principle for copying and pasting. Okay. So for independent trading, the rule of thumb is to calculate your lot size before every trade to risk a static dollar or percentage amount. Why? I'm glad you asked. Okay, the reason why is because you want to be in a position where you can measure what it's going to take to be profitable. And I actually do have a cheat sheet for this. I'm going to send this to myself right now. You want to be in a position where you can measure and know the score for what it's going to take to be profitable in your trading and your sample size. So for example, if you take, let's say, I don't know, 10 trades in a week. All right. For me, that's, kind of how it was when I first started out. It's a little bit trigger happy now. I don't take that many trades in a week typically. But if you're taking 10 trades in a week, this is where risk to reward ratios come into play. So I'm going to share my screen with this here. And we're going to talk about this. All right. So can you guys see this? You guys can see this, right? Yeah, you guys can see this. So, and this is where it gets exciting because trading is one of the only industries, I joke about this all the time, but it's facts. It's one of the only industries where you can actually be wrong more than you're right and still profitable. Here's how. Okay, it's called risk to reward. So when trade ideas are coming out on Solex, whether it's from Plutos or certain educators, every educator or signal service or trade idea service is slightly different in terms of how they structure their trades. So, for example, some people will call out trade ideas with a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So what does that mean? Okay, well, over here, you have 1-to-1 risk ratio, which means that because they have a high win rate, 50% or beyond, they're in a position where they're obviously profitable as traders. In fact, most of the trade ideas that you're seeing from Plutos, I mean, they have a very high win percentage. Okay, where trades are, either hitting break even or actually in profit. It's like 60. It's like well beyond 60% in terms of their hit rate. So they can take trades with low risk to reward, like 1-to-1, and be profitable and laughing their way to the bank. Okay, but with independent trading, the goal should be to take positive risk to reward ratio trades. So the thing that you're seeing on screen, you have the risk. This is the risk to reward. So risking 1-to-1 is risking $1 to make $1. It's risking 1% to make 1%, $1,000 to make $1,000. Okay. Then you have the win rate. So this is how consistently are you hitting take profit. If you take 10 trades in a week, you're winning 5 out of 10. That's a 50% win rate. If you're winning 6 out of 10, that's a 60% win rate. All right. And then depending on what the risk to reward is across the majority of your trades, this will dictate whether or not you are profitable in that sample size. If you have a 40% win rate and you're taking just 1-to-1 risk to rewards, you're not going to be profitable. You're going to end up losing in that given week. This is maybe something you guys could take a screenshot of if you want. If you want to go above and beyond, you could literally write this out and draw this into your notes. But this is one of those things that I would say you can take a screenshot of. But the beautiful thing about independent trading is that you can calculate the static dollar amount or percentage amount that you want to risk on every single trade and be very intentional with what your risk to reward is every single trade. So for example, for me personally, bare minimum 1-to-2 risk to reward, but ideally 1-to-3 risk to reward. Why? Because I could have as little as a 30 or 40% hit rate and still be profitable. What other industry, aside from being a weather person, right? The weatherman or weather woman who's talking about the forecast, what other industry can you be wrong more than you're right and keep your job? You can't. If you're a surgeon, you mess up a surgeon, you're out. Kick to the curb, man. You're toast. Trading is like one of the only industries, aside from the weather person, that you can literally be wrong more than you're right and still be profitable and still keep your job and be laughing to the bank every single week, every single month, whatever the case is. I think it's kind of like a funny, joke, the weather person thing. But trading's, I mean, much better than the weather person job. Not to, downplay it, but I think we have a little bit more freedom in location. There's no cap to the income, and so it's yeah. Anyways, in digressing, okay, this is why it's important to calculate a static dollar or percentage amount, because if you're taking a different dollar amount or you're risking a different dollar amount every single trade, everything you see here is crumpled up and thrown out the window. If you think about it, if I'm risking a different dollar amount every single trade, I'm no longer going to be able to base my profitability off of this chart. Because if I'm risking, let's say if I'm taking a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio trade, and on one trade, I take a specific lot size because it's based on, what I'm calculating, like 0.01 per whatever, $100, whatever. The stop loss is constantly going to be different from trade to trade. So what I'm risking on this trade, despite it being the same lot size as my last trade, could actually be more or less than the previous trade. Is this making sense? Like I could be, if I'm taking an entry from here, right? And I have a trade where my stop loss, okay, this is my entry, eye level, right? Stop loss on this trade is here. Okay. Take profit somewhere above, right? It's a buy. And then the next trade, my stop loss is down here. If I'm taking the same lot size position on both those trades, I'm risking more on this trade than I was on this trade. Why? Because the stop loss is bigger. But if I'm manually calculating my risk, it doesn't matter what the size of the lot size or the stop loss is. I'm calculating and making sure that I'm risking the same dollar amount or percentage every single trade. Is this making sense? That's when this chart really plays out to your advantage, especially if you're being intentional with taking positive risk reward ratio trades where you literally can. Okay, one to one, not really positive risk reward. 1 to 1, bare minimum for some people. For me, it's more 1 to 2, 1 to 3. Hey, there's been trades, and we've talked about them on sessions before, that have run for well more than 1 to 5 risk to reward ratios. Felipe, well, we were in Dubai, one of the DeFi verse educators. He called out a trade on Bitcoin at around 70,000. I think it was like 75,000. It's insane. His trade ran for a 1 to 40 risk to reward at the price of 90,000 Bitcoin. 1 to 40, which means for every $10 that he risked, he made 40 times that off a single trade. That's crazy. That's insane. Like risk to reward is a major, major, major key and component when it comes to understanding how to really take trading to a whole nother level. Now, the reason that I say that if you're starting out and you're just copying and pasting, you should take, especially if you're just starting out, this into consideration and focus on this is because you want to get in the routine of copying and pasting quickly. And usually it's going to be on a demo account for the first little bit anyways. And then as you start to practice demo trading independently, this is where you're going to start to apply this rule of thumb of calculating your lot size. Now, how many of you want to know how to calculate your lot size? Because a lot of people are like on here and they're like, okay, this is great, this is fine and dandy, I'm resonating, but how to actually do this? I don't know how to do this, right? It's very, very simple. Okay, and this is, I gotta say this, I have to preface this. You have to go about it the right way because there are certain apps that make it easy to calculate your risk, but they're actually garbage and they don't actually work 100% of the time. It's not to downplay the apps, but the developers have missed a very key component that must be taken into consideration when calculating your lot size. So what I'll do, because I don't have time to go into it today, how many of y'all are going to do the homework? I'm giving homework on this call, man. Maybe we'll have to, I love homework, man. Maybe we'll have to do another call and I'm checking homework, making sure you guys are dialed in. Bonus points, brownie points for those that do their homework, right? So, and hey, it doesn't make a difference if you do the homework to me, but it can make a world of a difference if you do the homework for you, right? It makes no difference for me. I understand this stuff. I do this stuff on a regular basis, but this could make a world of a difference to you. I mean, this could take you from where you're currently at with your trading to a level that is unfathomable until you do the homework and you actually start to apply this, truly. So this video, and this will show you from MetaTrader's perspective. So this will be different on sway charts, but you can find the same information on sway charts for the Americans that are in here. If somebody can drop this link into the family chat as well, that would be great. And then maybe just give some context like homework. I think there was another link that we dropped earlier too. But that video goes into detail on how to calculate your lot size. It's very important to calculate it using what's shown in that video because certain apps, yes, they're convenient, but guess what? They'll give you the wrong lot size. Even though you're doing all the right things at a glance, it'll still give you the wrong lot size. So this website, I've tested on just about everything you could possibly imagine. Every sector, indices, precious metal, cryptos, currencies, et cetera, everything. Okay. Corn futures, like you could trade all kinds of crazy stuff, right? You can trade like wheat, sugar, coffee. I've tested it with all of these. All right. If I can trade it on my broker, I've tested it, or at least one of the industries, I've tested it on this platform. And there's a step that's very important. Don't just skim through that video. Follow it step by step, 100% of the way, and do it for more than just a currency pair. Do it for more than just gold. More, do it for a few different things that are constantly being shared by the educators, but that are also, something, assets that you have of interest. Okay, super, super key. So, I mean, I wish I knew this stuff when I was starting out, man, because first of all, this is maybe surprising to some of you. I talked about it yesterday in Kelowna too. My first year, I guess it would have been like 9 months. I didn't even know you could make money when the market was going down. I didn't even know you could sell, man. I was like buying and holding assets, watching my portfolio deplete in value. Didn't even know you could make money when the market was going down, man. It's crazy. So, I mean, you can imagine if I didn't know that, you better believe I didn't know shit about risk management, excuse my French. I didn't know anything about calculating my lot size. I didn't know anything about anything when I started out. So just imagine what you can do. And this is why we have so many people as testimonies to this. All right, Kate, another prime example. We've been working together for less than a year. This guy has the knowledge that I had over the course of 4 or 5 years poured into him in as little as 3 months. It's insane. You just apply yourself, you show up on every single call, you dial in. It's wild to see just the extent that, he is proficient, truly proficient in analysis and technical analysis and in trading. It's wild. So again, we're just, I'm doing my best to give you all the value to really go to that next level. I just pray that you guys take and apply this stuff that we're talking about today. So another thing that I want to make very, very clear, and this should be an expectation that is set across the organization, is that the first 2 weeks of trading, 1 to 2 weeks, depending on how comfortable someone is with copy paste trading, should be on demo. Okay. If you have somebody that's like, yo, I'm just ready to throw money at an account, whatever, they're ready to go. That's great. They can do that. But the rule of thumb for, prior to setting up a live account is 1 to 2 weeks demo trading, taking Solex/DeFiverse trade ideas. Okay. Why? Because they need to be comfortable and confident. You have to be in a position where you're comfortable and confident taking these trade ideas on a demo before transitioning to a live account. Okay. So after this 2 week point, go ahead, create a live account. Right. And it's very important and being consistent for those 2 weeks. Exactly. Like doing this, 10, 20 times in that 2 week period, being like, all right, cool. I know how to do this. I'm using the rule of thumb for risk management, right? For copying and pasting specifically. This is what you're going to start to worry about after the demo trading. Once you have a live account going, you can keep that demo account and start to practice, your own trades on the demo. Okay. When you fund the live account, very, very key. Because I've seen it so many times. And again, I learned this the hard way. I kind of had like a bit of luck when I first started Forex trading specifically, because I started in crypto. I don't think I mentioned that. That's why I was like losing money my first, 9 months, not knowing you could make money when the market was going down, because it was in crypto. It was a bear market. I was like buying Bitcoin and Cardano and all these cryptos, and my portfolio was like bleeding every month. I didn't know what I didn't know. But when I first started trading Forex, I just threw money into a live account immediately. Guess what happened? I blew that account. Then I threw more money into a live account. Guess what happened? I blew that account. Right? I did not start with a demo. Even though I knew there was demo accounts, I didn't start with demo, and then I just got smoked over time. But the ideal scenario is to have a live account, a personal funded live account after that 2 week period. Can there be exceptions to this? Sure. If someone comes in, they have prior experience trading, they know how to take copy and paste ideas, they could start on a live account if they're comfortable and ready to do that. Most people should follow the process of doing 1 to 2 weeks demo trading, taking trade ideas. And, if they want to take some of their own trade ideas, like just their own trades, I should say, on the demo, they can. But when you get on that live account, very key point right here is do not start taking your own trades until you have a proven track record. Write that down in your notes. I commit to just taking trade ideas until I have my own proven track record. Why? Because I've seen it so many times where people will, after funding a live account, be like, all right, cool. I got this whole MetaTrader 5 thing down. I got this whole sway charts thing down. Let me go ahead and start applying this stuff that Donnie's talking about in his institutional trading bootcamp. and they start on the live account just because they did a couple weeks of copy paste ideas. They're like, all right, let me try and go right into my own trades on the live account. Do not do that. Why? Because you're probably not in a position where you can perform as consistently as Plutos. You're probably not in a position where you can perform as consistently as Idris or Ralph or any of the other educators on the platform. So I commit to only taking trade ideas until I have my own proven track record. So what does that mean? Well, it means what it states, right? You have to have a track record. What is a track record? A track record is a minimum of 1 to 3. Well, I would say even more than 1 month, man. It shouldn't even be 1 month. It should be like 3 months of consistency in taking your own trades independently. It can be less than that. Again, it's kind of up to your own discretion, but make sure you have some sort of track record of you taking your own independent trades on a demo first before starting to take those on a live account. This is super key. I'm just trying to save y'all money, truly. Because you could be taking a bunch of trade ideas that are doing super well. If you're following the blueprint here, as long as you're taking as many ideas as you can throughout the week, sure, you might have down weeks. Sure, you might have down days. Understand it's just about doing the right things long enough consistently. Let the edge play itself out. But if you start to throw in your own data, your own trades on a live account, you might be, well, maybe I don't think you should be surprised, but you might be surprised to see that the profits you're making from trade ideas are going right back to the market because you don't know what you're doing yet. And it's okay. Like, don't rush the process, man. Let me ask you guys a question. Sometimes I frame this question to people. This is an important question. I need you guys to respond in the chat for this one. Even if it took you 5 years, okay, even if it took you 10 years, all right, let's be super conservative. This is crazy because it's laughable, honestly, but just to give you the perspective shift, even if it took you 10 years to get to a point where you have this skill down independently to never have to work a job ever again, truly financially free, location freedom, you could do anything you want whenever you want. Would it be worth it to you, even if it took you 10 years? Yes or no in the chat. Because I'll be honest, man, like most people don't have what it takes to stick it out for 10 years. Most people don't have what it takes to stick it out for 1 year, man. Don't be a statistic and quit for sure anything less than a year. You stick around for a year, there's some people on this call that are going to be truly in a position where this has truly freed them from the 9 to 5. And so if you would do this for 10 years to get to a point where you have true freedom in every sense of the word, location freedom, financial freedom, time freedom, then what's the point of rushing the process? Like, you do not need to start taking your own trades independently on a live account until you have a track record, man. Just do the right things long enough on a demo and then start once you have the track record, period. And you might be like, oh, okay, well, Donnie, like, I don't want to trade on a demo. Like I'm doing, why can't I just do it on a live account? Hey, you can do whatever you want. I'm not taking the trades for you, but I'm just sharing what I've experienced myself personally when I first started out and what I've seen over and over and over and over again with literally thousands of students. This is not like hundreds or tens of students. Like this is literally thousands of students over the past 5 years that I've experienced this with. So trust the process, man. 3 months of data is nothing. 3 months of data is, man, that's like end of February next year, man. Perfect. Now start taking your own trades on a live account if you have the track record. What is that? What is 3 months, man? Like we think about like truly, it's nothing. You think about it, 90 days is a very short period of time. So then, and this is where it gets exciting. And we're gonna do it. We'll probably have to do another call, the blueprint to 10K a month trading. We've done this training before. Maybe we'll have to run it back. I think a lot of people would enjoy that. But this is a really important point as well. And I gotta say this. I don't want to mention any names or call anybody out. But I think a lot of people, because of the way that we were doing things before, have it completely twisted on the process of whether you should start on a personal live funded account or a prop firm funded account first. Um, Take it from me over the past 2 years, and actually more than 2 years, experience working with institutional funding. It is always better to start with your own personal live funds first. Okay. Why? Well, number one, the prop firm space is not what it was 3 years ago. There's a lot of fake platforms out there that won't pay you out. And the last thing that you want to experience, and I'll explain, maybe some of you guys are like, what are you talking about? I'll explain in a second. But there's a lot of platforms that won't even pay you out on the trades and the work that you've been doing over a period of time. So it's like, why would you waste time potentially to not get a payout just because there's a firm that looks legit that, claims to pay people out? Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is before you can even consider working with an institution or a prop firm, you should be in a position where you have a track record on a demo account of your own plus a live account of your own after that 3 months of trading on a demo personally. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, okay, there's a difference between live personal account and a prop firm account. I'm not going to go super in detail, but a prop firm account, also known as a funded account sometimes, some people refer to it as a funded account, myself included, is when you work with a company that will fund you with simulated capital. It's not real capital, simulated capital to trade, and they will do a profit split with you on that capital. So you could get funded with up to anywhere from 10,000, actually you can do less than that too, 10,000 to $200,000 to trade with. All right. And it's simulated capital. It's not live funds, simulated. And you could do a profit split with them. So maybe it's a 50-50 profit split, 60-40 profit split, or 70-30 profit split. Sometimes it's 80-20, depends on the firm. Okay. Which you might look at that and be like, okay, well, Donnie, like I don't have 10 grand to throw into a trading account. And if you're telling me that I could start trading with 10K with a prop firm, why would I consider funding my own small live account when I can just go right to the prop firm? And I totally understand that perspective. In fact, there was a period of time where we were encouraging people to go from demo directly into a prop firm account until prop firms started to go to shit. Excuse my French. It's better to just trade a live account and scale it over time, just in general. But it's not to say you can't use prop firm accounts, just use them in the right time. Be in a position where you have the experience, you put in the reps with a live personal account, and then make sure you're using a reputable firm. Like bottom line, most important thing is make sure you're using a reputable firm. Because you look at this, you're like, okay, cool. If I just did 2% a month on $200,000, that's 4,000 USD, 50-50 profit split, that's 2,000 USD. That's like a full-time salary for me here in Canada. That's like almost my full-time salary here in the States. Okay. And that's valid. But I've just seen it so many times where people make that move too soon or with the wrong firm and get burned. You don't want to have that experience. This is really important, especially for the leaders on the call that have had this as a part of their process. Like, do not put people on prop firms before their own live accounts, period. Okay. Period. Can I get that commitment from the leaders on the call? Because I've seen it so many times. It's not to downplay prop firms. This is something that's allowed Dayton, for example, to be in the position that he was in so quickly because he leveraged prop firms. But I think, Dayton, you could also testify to what I'm saying, that prop firms are not what they used to be, a year and a half, 2 years ago, even, right? They're way different now than they were back in the day. Like some are absolute garbage, rug pulls, not paying people out. You got account migrations every freaking 3 to 4 weeks. It's just BS that you don't need to worry about. And you don't want people that are starting out to be going through. Just trade on a regulated platform, sway markets if you're in the States, PU Prime if you're in Canada or anywhere else. All right. And trade with something that you know is reputable, and regulation is key. Absolutely key. That's why we give you guys the recommended platforms, because they're regulated. We vetted. It's crazy. Tom and I spent like months vetting out. It's crazy. It's like we spent months vetting out the right platforms to share with the team. Because we were like, yo, we are not going to have a broker debacle where our people are not getting paid out, number one, or number two, they're just not legit and regulated platforms. So I just wanted to share that. I'm almost finished, guys. Okay. We're going through just about everything. Crypto bull run, we already talked about that. Also super key, guys, we have one weekly team call every single week, etched in stone. It's Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Every single week, it's a different trainer. It's a different subject that's being trained on. Sometimes because we were in Dubai, for example, there was a few weeks that we didn't have calls on Sundays. Take that time to back test, to study. All right. But do yourself the favor of putting that in your calendar every single Sunday. And if you can't watch it live, watch the recording. These calls are game-changing calls. I know Olivia is going to be running an absolutely fire training this coming Sunday. You're not going to want to miss it. All right. So be sure to put that in your calendar. But every single week, we have a really fire, we have a crazy lineup actually for the next, like going into the end of this year. These family calls on Sundays are going to be top tier, best trainings, best calls you've ever potentially been on a part of Revolt. So make sure that you're tapped in for those. And guys, we gotta be active in the group chats, man. I know there's a lot of people in here. I'm just gonna call it how it is. Some of y'all don't even know, so I'm gonna bring it to your attention that you have these group chats muted, right? When you join the Telegram group chats for the first time, okay? When you join for the first time, the Revolt group chat is literally muted. Okay, so go in and unmute the chat. This is what it'll show if you're on your computer. It'll look like this. It'll say unmute, click that, unmute the chat. Guess what? If your phone's popping off for a period of time because, Walker ranked up to Influencer 500 recently, and there's a bunch of people, celebrating him, or, we got rank ups that are around the corner, people are spamming eyes and you're getting bothered, make that fuel on the fire for you to be the next person celebrated in the chat, man. Make that fuel on the fire for you to be the next person being celebrated for taking a withdrawal from your own live account. Be tapped into the group chats. Every morning, some people, it's crazy. Wow, I was really red starting the call. I'm back to my normal color now. That's funny. But a lot of people, I'll be so honest, don't even know that the group chat's muted, so they never get notified. All right, here's Jeremy, myself, and Kendall last night at the event. Great meeting you, gentlemen. But we're constantly just sharing, positive messages, positive vibes in the family chat. Guess what? It's not just the family chat. You have the results tab, right? You got someone like Ashton absolutely crushing it on his demo account. You got Saxon absolutely crushing it. This was while he was at the event last night. You got Enrico on his live account. Look at this, man. This is fantastic, right? Like we have people that are sharing results that are going to motivate you. Crazy story. Crazy story. I don't know if Brent's on here. Let me see if Brent's on here. Yeah, I don't think he's on here. I don't think he made it. I've known Brent now for close to 2.5, maybe 3 years. He just took a live account to plus 6 figures with a starting balance of 10K. This is a live account. Okay. Deposit 10,000, profit 99,000. He's officially broken the 6-figure mark in his live trading account.
Another 6-figure trainer. Revolt.
Another 6-figure trader, man. Imagine you're actually in the chats and you see that and you're like, damn, nothing special about Brent, man. He was just doing the right things long enough. Nothing special about Dayton, man. Nothing special about Walker, man. Nothing special about any of us. But guess what? We all are special. But don't put anybody on a pedestal. This is meant to motivate you to continue tapping in. And even if you're on a live account or a demo account or a funded account or whatever the case is, share your results. That's what the results tab is here for. And it's great to show people that are interested in the opportunity or prospects or whatever. You pull up the results tab, you say, hey, listen, it's cool. I can show you what I'm doing on my demo account or my live account or, with my notes and my note taking and everything and my learning. But let me show you that it's not just me. Like I'll do this on calls all the time. All the time. Shout out Dylan Miller one time, right? Absolutely crushing on his funded account. Right? It's amazing. We got people that are constantly sharing their results. We got crypto talks going down. My guy Nazar is out here absolutely crushing it in crypto. right? We got different opportunities and and coins being shared. You got Caden throwing his life savings at coins. Don't do that. It was a joke. He clarified. Luke's like, please don't do that. We got recordings in here. Okay. Whole life elevated recap call, which was fire, by the way. If you didn't check that out, definitely do. And so on and so forth. So, guys, why am I sharing this? Because you being plugged in is what will keep you going and around the fireplace to get to that next level. If you get pissed off because the chat's blowing up, get pissed off for greatness, man. Be like, damn, I really got to get tapped back in. You know what's crazy is like people are blown up with Snapchats all the time, blown up with Instagram, Facebook Messenger, this, that, whatever. All of it's bullshit, man. It's all BS. Like, get blown up for your success. This is like one of the only communities, if not the only community, that most of you are a part of, where we want to see you win, number one. The tools and resources are there, number two. The community and support system is there, number three. Number four, you just have to plug in, man. It's literally there for you. So make sure you're engaged and tapped in with the group chats. Super, super important. And in closing, got another piece of homework, man. I don't think y'all are ready for this one. Most of y'all won't do this part. I'm just going to be real. But if you're serious, you'll apply this and you'll take action on this. You have to know the score. Okay, write this down in your notes. How you do one thing is how you do everything. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you come to me and you're like, man, I don't know, I just haven't felt motivated, or man, I'm just not getting the results I'm looking for, or this or that or whatever, change the frame of mind that you're in, number one. This is just, I'm going to share some more value here before I give you guys the last bit of homework. You have to change the frame of mind that you're in. What are you comparing yourself to? Who are you comparing yourself to? Are you comparing yourself to other people in the group chat? Red flag, don't do it. Compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. You might not be in the position that you want to be today, and that's why you're here. So don't keep bashing yourself about that. Celebrate that. That's worth celebrating, man. You're doing something different to get a different result. And it's going to take time. This isn't going to happen overnight. This is not a get rich quick, but it's a get rich and stay rich over time. So change the frame of mind. Understand it's a process. You're going to blow trading accounts. You're going to build a business and your whole business is going to collapse. And then you have to rebuild with the few people that stuck around. Like it's going to be part of the process. I'm telling you guys from experience, I've been doing this almost 7 years, 5 years in the network marketing space. I think like 5.5 now, almost 6. So how you do one thing is how you do everything. Guess what? If you're not tracking your process and your progress with trading, you need to start doing that. Maybe I'll do another call because we've already been on here for longer than anticipated. Like I said, we're not going for 2.5 hours or even 2 hours. We're almost finished. But maybe we'll do another one. Do you guys want to do another one next week? Or we build on this? We won't do it every week, but I mean, there's more. I got more for y'all. I'm seeing a lot of yeses in the chat. Okay, cool. Would you guys be able to do the same day, same time? As long as we don't have an event that day. Yeah, I just got to make sure we don't have an event that day and time. But we'll confirm the day and time. We'll confirm the day and time, but we'll elaborate on this. There's a couple of things that I want to elaborate on. I'm just going to write these down. Maybe we will check homework. Jeez. Big homework guy. So I'm just writing this down in my notes so I don't forget what to follow up on next week. Okay, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Oh, right. How to document trades. We're going to talk about this. This is more of an advanced concept. We'll talk about it next week. How to document trades and journal. Really important though. But here's the thing. Some of us. Whoa. Whoa. Where is this music coming from? That was crazy. And my phone just started playing music. I think it was from Spotify. Closed it out. It stopped. Okay. So here's the thing. How do you one thing is how you do everything. So if you want to get ahead financially, if you want to get ahead in results monetarily, what you track grows. So how many of you, be honest with me in the chat, and it should probably be like zero, to be honest, because I know it was not the case for me when I started out and I wasn't even thinking about it. But how many of you track on a day-to-day basis all of your spending and all of your income? Drop a one in the chat. Do not lie to me. Every day. And you've been doing this for like 6 months to a year. Drop a two if you haven't been doing this, but you're like, oh shit, I see where he's going with this. I should probably start. Brad, my man, let's go, man. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So this is super important. Super, super important. Because guess what? If you start to track your day-to-day spending and expenses, this is going to transfer over to your documentation with trading. And what you track grows. Write that down. What you track grows. Write this down for next week as well. Okay. So I had a very pivotal moment when I was $60,000 in debt and not in a position where I had sufficient income to turn around my financial situation. This was back in 2022. Yeah, 2022. I made the decision that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was trading, I was profitably trading, but I was not in a position where I could dig myself out of this rut that I was in by just trading. And I realized that if I wanted to change the results, I had to make some changes in my life to change the result that was currently the $60,000 of debt that I had. So there were actionable steps that I took that supported me to turn around that entire financial situation over the course of a year. So one of them was knowing the score. Write this down in your notes. There's no way of overemphasizing the importance of knowing the score. Write this down in your notes. And this is universally applicable. There's no words you could use to overemphasize the importance of knowing the score. There are no words you could use to overemphasize the importance of knowing the score. What do I mean by that? If you're not tracking the cash flow in and out on a regular basis, how could you possibly expect to get to a place that is abundant, wealthy, rich? If you don't even know where you're currently at, there's no possible way for you to plot the trajectory forward to get to that where you're wanting to be. So it's tedious, but listen, man, successful people are always willing to do what the other guys ain't willing to do. You got to expense track. You got to keep tabs on everything. The dinner we had last night, guess what, man? I paid in cash. I don't even use cash usually. I got cash because, it was a unique situation to support someone in signing up that didn't have a card. So I paid with cash. And what do? I take the receipt from that transaction and I document it. I went on a trip to Dubai and was collecting every single receipt, not only because they're write-offs, because they are, but to track everything. Write-offs are great too. Guess what? Big receipt guy, but guess what? Hey, you have a great opportunity as a self-employed individual, as an IBO or affiliate, to write stuff off. The road trips, the Dubai trips, the tour that we're on. Like Tommy and I are out here writing everything off, man.
That's why you build the business.
That's why you build the bits, just for the tax benefits. But in all reality, what you track grows. So if you're not keeping tabs on your expenses, if you're not keeping tabs on your income, how could you possibly expect to progress? You have to know the score. You have to know the score, man. So next week, I'm going to allude to this. I'll pull it up right now quickly. I'm going to end this off and we'll pick it up next week because we've been on here for like an hour and 40 minutes. Might have to do another weekly team call, maybe, for sure. But this is a spreadsheet that I put together. I've had this for a long time. I've used this for a long time personally. It's literally an expense tracker. You have to manually input everything. Guess what, guys? If you're looking for like a one-trick pony to document all this stuff for you, it's not going to make a difference if you're expense tracking with an app that does it all for you. Why? Because you're still not seeing it and looking at the numbers every day, man. You got to do it manually. So guess what? If you're not a green, this is going to suck for you. I'm going to be honest. You guys don't know what I'm talking about with green. It's very analytical. People that are like, they need to know the score, super like organized. Like, I'm a green. I'm a green. If you're not a green, this is going to suck. But guess what? Sometimes you got to do what's uncomfortable to get a different result in your life. Sometimes you got to put in the extra rep, which sucks, and you're like on the brink of collapsing. But that's what it takes to get the extra growth in your muscles. Same thing with your bank account, man. So, time to be a green, right? There we go. Huge green guy. But this expense tracker is what I would recommend everybody using to document their income, their expenses on a month-to-month basis. And the cool thing is it literally will track everything for you. You can literally go month to month here. And I believe, unless I'm tripping, I'm gonna have to update the spreadsheet. This might be an old one. Choose month. Oh, this is view only. That's why. Check this out. If I go make a copy, watch this. So, and this literally gives you the instructions on how to set this up, by the way. And you can toggle around with the colors. You want to make it pretty, whatever. But check this out. You go gross income. So guaranteed income every single month. All right. What are you getting paid? Are you getting paid weekly, biweekly, whatever the month-to-month basis income is, you put that here. If it's $2,000, great. If it's $5,000, fantastic. Right? Whatever it is, it'll update here. Then you have your expenses. So what's your rent, phone bill, internet, groceries, and then everything else. This is all your subscriptions. Netflix, Disney, Hulu, which, by the way, you should cancel all that shit and just tap in with the live sessions instead. Instead of Netflix and chill, it's tap in on ECA and chill with Donnie, right? You know what I'm saying? Idris, Ralph, all the guys, the educators, right? And Jess, right? Stock options legend. So, but input, and this is how you'll really be able to get ahead, because you're going to be like, damn, I've been spending on these things every single month that are so unnecessary. I got to check myself, man. You're going to create more money for yourself than you even realize you had, because you're going to be more mindful of your spending. Right? Donnie and decompress. You already know the vibes, right? So set up this expense tracker and do a personal audit. I have a video and 2 links to 2 different spreadsheets to create a personal audit of assets, liabilities, knowing the score. This is just for you. Okay. If you guys want to get on a call at some point, like individually with myself or your mentor, to go over this, to get a game plan, I would encourage you guys to do so. I don't know if I'll be able to get on 50 calls. So I would encourage you guys to reach out to your personal mentor. But once you've done the personal audit and you've gotten this spreadsheet going, this is the best way for the mentor to support you in moving forward. Because now, and this is like, ask them, and I'll tell you this, if I'm on a call with you, this is 100% confidential, but this is what it's going to take for you to know, okay, these are the steps I need to be taking to move forward. Decrease your expenses, increase your income. Guess what? You're already in a position where you should be increasing your income with trading and affiliate marketing. Now it's just a matter of decreasing any unnecessary expenses and tracking month to month your income from jobs, plus trading, plus affiliate marketing, whatever. And then it's putting them in the right places, crypto, precious metal, whatever, savings account, saving some stuff, right? And you're going to really be able to get ahead quickly. The cool thing is you can look at every single month to see where your money's going. It's so cool, man. Like, this is a great spreadsheet. Okay. And then you have it plotted over the span of a year as well. Monthly totals, all your expenses. So if I had this done for an entire year, this is just a template, you would see it fully documented, fully tracked. And it's done for you, man. This is a spreadsheet you just got to plug into and fill in the blanks. I'll tell you guys, when I started to use this thing, $60,000 in debt. This is a lot of debt, by the way. The trajectory that I was able to make sure I was on course for was getting out of that debt position and having positive cash flow. When you have positive cash flow, that's when things get exciting. That's when you can start to accumulate more assets that create even more cash flow and truly create that freedom. Guess what? Revolt economy, this is not a one-stop shop, just trading and investing. That's it. This is a wealth community. Revolt specifically, like, this is not That's why we have high ticket sales. We got people going to West Palm Beach in December to sell high ticket. Which, by the way, if you're interested in that, reach out to Tommy. I don't know how many more spots we have, but if you're interested in that, it's coming up. It's around the corner, so definitely reach out to him sooner than later. But in addition to that, it's like, yo, we're gonna have real estate plays in the future. When people are in a position where the income has gotten to a point where they're ready to get real estate properties, yo, that's gonna be there, right? So what I'll do is this, because I know we've been on here for a while. We're gonna pick this back up on another call. But the last piece of homework, and this is not going to take you long at all. All these homework pieces are very short and sweet. They're not going to take you long to go through, but it's to literally do a personal audit and start to set up this expense tracker, so that you can really know the score and what you track grows. So with all that being said, if you got value on today's call, type value in the chat. Okay. I have one ask from every single one of you that's on this call in closing. And it's not going to cost you anything other than maybe a few seconds of your time. Okay. This is the only thing I ask. Well, you know what? Actually, two things. It might take a little bit more than a few seconds. But the first thing that I want you to do is just go into the family chat and type what your biggest takeaway was. Go ahead, look at your notes, type in the chat, yo, just finished this call with Donnie. This was my biggest takeaway. Maybe it was what we just talked about at the very end that some people missed because they jumped off the call early. But the most important part, which is knowing the score, what you track grows, expense tracking, personal audit stuff. I'm going to send the homework in the family chat. Okay, maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the risk management side of things, the how to approach copy and pasting versus independent trade ideas. Maybe it was just the nuggets of gold that I was sharing, right? Short-term consistency will never beat long-term intensity. Or sorry, long-term consistency will always beat short-term intensity. Okay, maybe it was a nugget of gold like that. Whatever it was, take a few seconds, type in the chat what your biggest takeaway was in the family chat. Additionally, we got to get this recording out to as many people as possible because there's a lot of people that weren't here that, I mean, if you got value from this call, imagine how much more value they're going to get in watching the recording, being able to pause and take notes and continue. I mean, snap. Some of you guys that are here live should maybe go back over the recording as well. I would encourage it. So as soon as this recording is uploaded, can I get a commitment from all the 33 of us that are in here? I think there's like 31, not including the two. Actually, I think I only have one device on right now. But can I get everybody's commitment to share this recording with the people you know couldn't make it? And if you don't know if they made it or not, message them, hey, were you on Donnie's call tonight? If not, let me forward you the recording. Okay, the recording is going to be shared in the recordings tab, and it should be sent out. Actually, I don't know for sure if it will be, but it might be sent out via email to all the registrants. That's why I did the registration thing. I'm kind of trying something new with this whole Zoom thing. But can I get everybody's commitment on that? I'm seeing some yesers in the chat, some yeses in the chat, some yups in the chat. Again, it doesn't make a difference to you necessarily if you send out the recording, but think about the difference it could make for someone who's starting out. Think about the difference it could make for somebody that's on the team that wasn't able to tune in live. Right. So with all that being said, we are behind schedule. So I'm going to go and start hitting the phones and inviting for this Kamloops event that we got coming up in 2 days. I look forward to seeing you guys in Kamloops. If you're not far from Kamloops, British Columbia, and you haven't heard about the event, you got to be there, man. You got to be there. It's going to be 6 p.m. this Thursday, the 28th. I know we got other events that we have going on as well. December 1st in Calgary, we're doing a private mastermind on the 30th. Also a private mastermind tomorrow in Kamloops. And like I said, guys, do not miss the family call on Sunday. All right, Olivia is going to be dropping absolute gems on that family call. So be sure to be on there. And of course, stay tuned. Look into all the different events that we have on this tour. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at these events, on these calls, and of course, at the top. So with that being said, much love, everybody. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys very, very soon. Stay tuned. We'll probably do another one of these next week at some point. Details to follow. So peace out, everyone. Let's have a great week and catch you guys very soon.